Angels, this is the weekly general reading for the period of Sunday, November 14th through Saturday to come, November 20th. And there's a lot going on this week. I've learned some new things in my dreams, actually, about Chandra Grahan, I think it was, which I had to look up when I woke up. I was lucky to remember it. Actually just means lunar eclipse, apparently. And also Ketu, more of these Hindu visions and things that I've been having, which I looked up as well and learned is an imaginary planet, but is very important to Hindu practice. So it's interesting. I want to get into that a little bit, at least talk about it for a few minutes later on in the reading. What else? We got the full moon in Taurus and the last lunar eclipse of the year. So I guess that's why I dreamed about Chandra Grahan. And Ketu as well, because apparently Ketu, although it's imaginary, doesn't exist, will be opposing or conjunct Scorpio during this time. It does. Some of it I don't understand, but I'm shown it and I look it up to see if I have a dream about something and I'm lucky enough to remember it, or to remember to at least write it down so that I can look it up later when I get up and find that it actually exists, which, happens fairly often, I guess. I want to share it with y'all. I mean, because maybe one of you knows more about it already, and you can help me with it, or help the rest of us. You can make you can comment on the video, or email me or something, or write to Divine Girl Talk. I almost wrote to Divine Girl Talk myself yesterday. As a matter of fact, I still may, because I've had some other dreams. So one, I started to tell Yvonne about, the admin of the page, and because I meant to talk to my mother about it. She's a long time been a dream interpreter, that I just hadn't gotten around to it. And so one of the dreams, I had this baby. I don't know why I'm always having a baby, either in my dream or on Facebook. I play those games. They always have me pregnant. But I had a baby. Again, it was an infant. It was swaddled, wrapped in, totally tightly wrapped up, and was on this couch with 3 cushions. And so it was, there's the part where the 2 cushions meet, and the baby was laying like in between two, not stuffed down in between 2 cushions, but on top of the 2 cushions, but on top of the space, that thin space between where the 2 pillows met, all swaddled in this stuff. And I guess it was a living room, and I was out there too, but I wasn't like right over the baby. Somebody else had put the baby there. So somebody else had been holding my baby, laid it there. And I was in the room when I saw the baby roll over, even though it was too young to roll over. It rolled over and then got stuck like on its face. So since I saw it, I came over and I turned the baby back over again, obviously on its back. But I had mentioned that to Yvonne, because I told her, I might go to Divine Girl Talk and see if somebody can help me with this dream, because I forgot to call my mother. And she said, it's funny that you mentioned that, because she had seen something about these children that were being born, like now, and they were doing things that, or she had a dream herself, maybe it was. Don't start me a line, but one of the two. Either she saw it on TV or she had a dream herself about these babies or young children doing things like talking and walking and rolling over and stuff that they were not old enough to do. Like they were these super babies. So I don't know if that's a thing or if that's a thing that's coming. But yeah, like I said, it happens to me. I want to let you guys know about it. This other one involved a cat. That I don't know what breed of cat this was. I'm not even a cat person. I mean, I've owned a cat before, but I wouldn't call myself a cat person. I've owned a dog too. I've owned a lot of stuff. I had a pet lobster. I mean, don't ask, seriously. But this cat was real furry. Had like a lot of like long fur. Beautiful cat. And I guess it needed a home. Because I remember I picked up the cat and I had it. And it had like, in the dream, I was thinking it was tiger spot. But tiger is stripes. These weren't but these weren't stripes. These were more spots, like a cheetah or a leopard or something, but they were like orange and brown, like a tiger. And I picked up the cat and I had it and I hugged it and talking to the cat, and I put it down and I'm like, I don't have any, room for this cat. And I have a leather couch, like a white leather couch, which is true. I can't have a cat. And the person said to me, like, look how unique this cat is. And I'm looking and I'm like, yeah, it's like a tiger. How could I? Okay, I'll take the cat. And I picked it up, and I think that was the end of the dream. I have to see if I wrote anything down about that one, because I don't remember anything else of it. But these are the things that's been going on. So, yeah, I want to get into it a little bit more. Maybe it has something to do with Neptune retrograde in Pisces still. I don't know. But I want to see what you guys have to say about these things. Oh, and then one more thing I'll mention before. I know I usually talk about stuff in general after the reading, but one more thing I will say. I also had talked to my daily reading viewers, my Patreon viewers, about the fact that my period had been late in October. Now, I turned 50 in June. So when it was late, I was just like, oh, like maybe this is starting. Like maybe it's not going to come this month, because, the doctor did warn me that could happen. It could start to skip or whatever. So I was like, oh, maybe it's not going to come this month. Because normally my period comes like I'm 16 years old. And I get all these like symptoms that it's coming. So I'll get a pimple on my face, particularly around my nose or something. And I'll get real sleepy like the day it's actually coming, which is not like me. I'm always speedy and I'm up all night and all day. Different things that happened to me. So they had already happened, with the exception of being sleepy. These other things that I'd already popped the pimple and all that kind of stuff, and no period still. So I'm like, okay, maybe I'm not getting one this month. Maybe I'm just going to go through the symptoms, but I'm not going to actually get the cycle. And October 30th, I went to bed early. Early for me. It might have been like 2:00 in the morning. I don't remember what time it was, but it was early for me nonetheless. And I even had my phone on silent. So somebody trying to call me, text me, whatever, I would not have heard it. And I woke up on 10/31 Halloween with a text from one of my exes that, like, you up or whatever. He's in a different time zone. He lives in California. So normally I would have said yes, because I'm up all the time, and then he would have called, right? But I missed it. So I was like, I texted him, I responded like, sorry I missed you, whatever. I was asleep, believe it or not, for a change. And I said, it's weird because usually that only happens if my period's coming. And sure enough, got up, went to the bathroom because it was morning, and there it was. So it came the morning of Halloween, and I had it still for the new moon. So it's still like it's trying to still be around the moon cycle. But then I saw this video, I think it was on TikTok, and this young lady was saying that her period was late, and all these people that were commenting on her video and duetting her video or stitching her video or both or whatever they call it, also had missed their periods, and a lot of them felt that they were pregnant. They felt pregnant even though they were taking these tests, and the test was coming up negative. And it reminded me, like, oh, I didn't have my period was late too. And I was like, they were all saying that their period was late. So apparently it's some kind of phenomenon. So I'm interested to know if you guys that are watching, if you experienced that too. Like if you guys missed your period in October, or if it was, like super late, or if you felt like pregnant, but you took a test and you weren't. All right, let's get into this. So with the dice, we're starting with 29, all about spiritual partnership. Yes, and dirty movie. Spirit says party. For somebody that's going to have something to do with political party, and I don't know what, the elections are over, so I don't know, but I heard political party, something's going on there. Forget it. And still dirty movie, which can be messages like text, send me a picture, or something viral, maybe, across the country, across the world, global, something goes viral, something happens, which could very well be. Again, we have a lunar eclipse this week. There could be like unfortunately some sort of large scale incident, you know, kind of like, I guess, what happened with Travis Scott last week. Even though we hadn't yet been we hadn't yet, at least fully been in the energy of this moon. Maybe we're still in the energy of the moon we just experienced, the new moon in Scorpio. But something viral like that, where a lot of people are affected, or something like that. But other than that, with the cards we're starting, I don't think it's a negative reading. I don't think it's, negative energy that's around us for the most part. I think it's very, very positive. I mean, we got the Angel of Strength, the Queen of Cups, and the Lovers showing up here. So let's get started. So again, with the energy deck, we're beginning with the Angel of Strength, which means this angel shows up in your life, and maybe and a Leo specifically, or a fire sign, shows up in your life, an actual person, Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, to support you, or this energy shows up to remind you or make you feel as if you're particularly empowered. And speaking of being particularly empowered, I did a video on like generational curses, like dispelling them, and clearing your energy, clearing out karmic energy. It was a while ago, and I posted like the audio, and every now and then people go on it, and they'll comment, "Oh my God, like this made me feel so good," or whatever. But this week, like over the past couple days, like, I mean, and the video's up for like 2 years already, I think. But over the past couple days, like 10 people have commented on that video, and brought it up. So there's something going on, and if you want support, if you feel like you need that kind of support, again, I do have that video. I think it's called Clearing Karmic Energies and Generational Curses, but I'll try to remember to put a link too. So, but I said all that to say about the video, it's empowering. Like, people were saying, "Oh my God, I feel so much better already. I've been listening to this video for the past couple of days, and already my life has changed." Those sort of things. So it's about being empowering. So maybe I'm showing up, for example, in their lives as the Angel of Strength. And coincidentally, I am a Leo rising. All right. With the Rider-Waite deck, again, we're starting with the Queen of Cups, who's most directly a Scorpio in traditional tarot, but can be a Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, or someone that's not a water sign at all, but, like into those traits and attributes. It's about emotions and being particularly intuitive and psychic and listening to message and paying attention and being nurturing, especially to others, and needing to remember to do the same with yourself. Also upright is the Seven of Pentacles, which can be about patience and waiting for something to manifest. Maybe in this case, something that is emotionally fulfilling, or having to do with a relationship, or having to do with a vision or a dream or something that you had that's coming to true, or a goal, maybe in the 3D, a vision, a dream in that sense, that's coming finally to fruition. That maybe started with, yes, you having several dreams and ideas, and deciding to go ahead and make manifest of one, and putting what you needed to into it to to have it to grow and form. And then here you are feeling good about the fact that it's taking place. And it may have something to do with a relationship, because the next card is in reverse, but it is the Knight of Cups. And after that, we do have also the Four of Wands and the Nine of Cups upright behind that. So it could definitely be something having to do with a relationship, maybe even a reuniting of a relationship, and somebody who realizes they didn't necessarily do the right thing the first time, and now they're willing to do whatever they can and in everything to make it right. And they may actually be a water sign, maybe particularly a Scorpio, but possibly, again, a Cancer or a Pisces as well. And then from the Angel and Animal Tarots, or particularly the Angel Tarot in the case of this card, we have Major Arcana card 6, the Lovers, intimate relationships, carefully weigh your decisions, good health. And behind that, also upright, the Four of Swords. It's time to rest or take a vacation. Allow more time before making a decision. Meditation may provide answers. So this can be about getting some much needed rest, or thinking on something like, okay, I gotta make a decision. Let me think on it. It could definitely be connected to the Four of Swords. The Lovers can have to do with making a decision. When it does, it's just like a heart versus head decision. So it's like in your heart, you want to do one thing, but your head is telling you that doesn't make sense. That's illogical, or vice versa. And I mean, I tend, although I'm a Gemini, which the lovers represents, and we're all about logic and stuff, I do tend to tell people to follow their heart, and, you know, like the rest will follow. Free your mind and the rest will follow, right? So free your mind by letting go of all the worry and overthinking and stuff, and just follow your heart and stuff, and then everything else will fall in line. The next card here is the Moon, followed by yet another 9 of Cups, but this is in reverse. The Moon most directly represents the sign of Pisces in the tarot, but Earth's moon, actual moon, also rules the sign of Cancer. I could have shuffled cards while I was telling you about the eclipse and stuff. I'm trying to think if I want to tell you about anything else. Yeah, so I'm not really sure where or why, as of this year, I'll cut on that note because the Angel of Strength popped back up. I'm having all these like Hindu visions. Maybe because I have a lot of clients in India. I don't know. It may have something to do, I don't know if I ever share with you guys, because I tend not to share this. Adjacent possibilities is our overall energy, followed by the thinking man, okay, and strategy. So we're like thinking of a master plan, just like this guy. Okay, next card is Deceit, but it's in reverse. I once had this dream, and if I can be honest with you guys, I think that in that moment when I was having that dream, I think I may have actually been like dead. Because it was a dream unlike any other dream that I ever had in my life. I was in this paradise type of place, like maybe even a heaven type of place. Green grass, you know, just like in Technicolor. I never saw a sky so blue, you know, like all of that. There's nobody else there though. I was just there by myself. And then I heard this voice from above, as if like God, but it wasn't God. And I knew that it wasn't God in the dream. It spoke with an Indian accent. And I responded to it. I said, "My guide is Indian?" Because I was like with a question, like I was puzzled. And they said yes. And he proceeds to, you know, give me instructions and talk to me about, you know, something. And in this dream, I had a baby too. Baby is given to me like in the air, like floating. Like I said, nobody else was there. It was just me and this sound from above, like from the heavens above, but not God, my guide. And the baby was brown skin with blue eyes and red hair, and spoke like the king's English. I mean, was like far more intelligent than me, and like was like running down a bunch of stuff and giving me instructions too, and talking very fast. And I was like my head was spinning. But one of the things that I was told about also was these giants, and they sort of look like the baby. And the guide explained to me about the Indian and African connection. These giants were both Indian and African. I was just like, okay. And then I wake up. I'm like, it was like, again, it was like a dream unlike any one I'd ever had before. And I've had prophetic dreams before. It was even like beyond that. I'd never experienced anything like this. That's why I said that maybe I was dead. I don't know. That's what came to mind. You know, like Daniel, when he saw the levels of heaven. And a couple days later, in awake 3D life, I learned of this video of something popped up on my computer, and it was sure enough, it was about these giants that were like half Indian and half African with blue eyes and red hair, that had been discovered in these caves or their skeletons have been discovered in these caves, or their mummies or something, or both. That look like my baby. All right, so I was just telling you that, you know, to get us through the shuffling, our overall energy now. Maybe I'll do part 2 or the rest of it another day. Our overall energy with the Angel and Animal Tarots is Major Arcana card 2. So another Gemini representing energy, similar to the Lovers. Also about intuition, similar to the Queen of Cups, and psychic awareness, and really paying attention. Also being particularly attractive in different ways. So it can be your psyche or your psychic awareness, your very strong intuition that can be attractive to somebody. It may be physicality, could be combinations, could be any number of things, just the way you command, you know, attention and things. But you may very well have a lot of people just attracted to, drawn to you this week, with the High Priestess being our overall energy. Listen to your intuition, have patience, and consider carefully what you want before acting. The next card is the Queen of Pentacles. She is thoughtful, creative, warm, and sensible. Make time for those around you. Take a sensible approach and deal with challenges in a kind and understanding manner. Also, another Four of Wands. We just saw a Four of Wands a few minutes ago with the Rider-Waite deck, and now here is one here with the Angel Tarot. Contentment, peace, and abundance. A happy home life and the successful completion of a project. Also, the Ace of Swords. Brilliant new ideas and inspirations. Seeing the truth of a situation and a challenging beginning. This is a card also of victory. So there could be victory with something involving a home or household. Queen of Pentacles, very much about home, hearth, household. As a matter of fact, speaking of home and hearth, I think the asteroid Vesta, which is the goddess of the home and hearth, I think she goes direct this week. We'll verify that when we go over the planetary calendar. And maybe that is giving us some sort of strength. Also, Venus, so the goddess of love and money, or abundance in general, is located currently in Capricorn. That can be another reason this Queen of Pentacles is showing up. She is most directly a Taurus, but is potentially also a Virgo or a Capricorn, or someone like into those traits or attributes. And she's very much about the home. So like making yourself feel at home, redecorating, cleaning up, all of that. And can be even about like maybe buying a home or becoming a mother or having a family and running a household, even if it's I'm getting like it could be a different kind of family, a non-traditional family, but just making whatever home and family is to you, making that like a realized dream. And maybe it's difficult getting there, but actually doing it. Maybe you had trouble finding a home, perhaps like a LGBTQIA couple, a family, people didn't want to rent to you or sell to you, so maybe you had trouble getting home, but now you have it. There could definitely be something like that happening this week. All right. If you're in the market or trying to achieve something like that, or trying to achieve something, period, pay attention to the messages that you're getting intuitively. Card most directly representing the collective this week is the Seven of Swords. Surrounding energy, close friends, family members, co-workers. Two of Pentacles. Work and finance, directly or specifically. Eight of Wands. Love and relationship. Eight of Cups. Physical health. The Hangman in reverse. And spiritual health. The Two of Cups. So where we thought love maybe wasn't going so great or exciting this week, we got the Two of Cups in the position of spiritual health. So there could be something tied to a spiritually based relationship. We also had 29 with the dice. So it may be a spiritually based romantic relationship. I don't think I looked behind our overall energy. I don't remember doing it. Ooh, I did not. It's another strength card. And behind it, our overall energy of the Ace of Cups is in reverse. So normally, with the strength card being upright, normally I wouldn't peek behind it, but I did. and it's about worry. So, worry, sleepless nights, lack of confidence, feeling, disempowered. Again, the strength card shows up, as does the angel of strength, to make us, feel empowered, or remind us that we are empowered to do whatever it is we need to do. So our overall energy of the Ace of Cups reverse in general can mean that we're feeling blockages in our lives, and we really need to think about where these blockages are coming and how to remove them, how we ourselves can act to remove them. So that it needs to start with trying to understand what's causing the blockage so we can figure out what to do with it. Something positive and constructive to do about them. And so this is where we are, thinking that through clearly. And maybe it has something to do with somebody who is like butting into our life. Somebody may be spying on you. This could be another meaning of actually the die too. Dirty movie. Somebody could be like watching you on the internet or something. Like maybe you don't realize they follow you, or they're not your friend on Facebook, but or they've made up a fake page, or from a distance they look in and they check your page and they read it and they see what happens and stuff. And I don't know. The Seven of Swords can be about just somebody spying on you, or like butting into your life where they don't belong. Someone behaving in your regard with like less than good or ethical intentions, just really like prying and stuff. Also, if you're tempted to dig through somebody else's life, unless it's like that of your child, like your minor child, which is a legitimate area of concern for you, then you should try to resist the temptation or impulse to do that. But that seems to be our primary energy this week, which is kind of interesting. Seven of Swords can also be about lacking confidence, so it can be about feeling maybe disempowered, and causing ourselves to miss out, because we're lacking that confidence. So we don't act on things, we don't do things. We're like sort of like afraid that we should, and so we miss an opportunity. Like, there's an event that you could possibly go to. Maybe you can network and you can meet people, but am I going to fit in? I don't know if I should go because I'm, and so you feel disempowered, like you don't belong or whatever, and so you stay home, and then you miss out on the opportunity of those people that were going to be at the event with whom you could have networked, that maybe they could have gotten you a job, or patronized your business or whatever it is, but you blew it. Can also be about losing and or recovering something that was lost or stolen too. If you're involved in any kind of competition, you may want to keep a close eye out for cheating. It can, be anything from like cheating in a card game to somebody trying to frame you, maybe even for something serious, point blank to you, maybe at work, again, taking credit for your work, or claiming that you're responsible for something that was a failure when you weren't. It's basically, the bottom line is like, they can be like a cover your ass message that comes with this card too, and make sure that you're doing things the right way, and then you'll have nothing to worry about, especially if you're also willing to stick up for yourself if necessary. Even if someone is out to get you and to do the wrong, you can come out on the right side if you are doing the right things and about the right energy. Okay, so moving on to the surrounding energy of the Two of Pentacles, there could be two main issues that are in your mind, foremost in your mind, or in the minds of those surrounding you, close friends, family members, co-workers, and you may need to pull back from people, or they may need to pull back from you, or from trying to pay attention to quite so many things. Whomever it is that has way too much on their plate may need to draw themselves back. Multitasking is not your friend right now, or not their friend right now. And then you may need to just like cut down on the things that you're doing in order to focus on maybe two main priorities in your own life or in their own life. Financial situation also specifically may need to be more balanced, and we should make sure that we're paying attention in that area of our life. Two of Pentacles in general can be about balance as well. Doesn't have to necessarily be connected to your financial situation. It's often also about partnership and maybe likely trying to keep probably two areas of our life. It can be money and health, love and work, etc. in balance, but maybe having a difficulty in doing so. Although this card is generally considered to be like a positive omen. Eight of Wands in the placement of work and finance says we're probably waiting on decisions that have to be made by other people, and the chances that the outcomes are going to be good and positive are high, but we shouldn't try to like push people before they're ready to respond to us. Just be patient. So like if you're waiting for a business owner to get back to you as to whether or not you got the job, like don't be a pain in the ass about it. Although there's something to be said about like going after what you want and being aggressive. It can come off in the wrong way. So, is what this, particularly with this card showing up here, right? Like, it's going to be the wrong time to do it. This is a better time in the presence of this card to instead be patient and just allow things to, hit their time to free up and for them to give you a call instead. Maybe I'll say something different. If you're still waiting next week, we could get a different card and there'll be different energy. In terms of finances specifically, things don't seem to be like moving financially. It's definitely not a good time to take on any risky like investments unless you're looking at them in a very, very long-term sort of way. Save money where you can. Watch your spending habits where you can this week. Again, patience is called for with this showing up of this card, and that will move into love and relationship and the Eight of Cups. So you may decide that a long-term relationship is going to end, and I'm thinking because you're getting out of it because there's a new relationship that's available to you with a soulmate or twin flame. That's just what I'm getting so far from the card that's underneath it, the Two of Cups. But if you're sure about this, I'm not telling you to, if you're still thinking about it and you're unsure as to whether, I'm not saying jump out of your relationship and jump into a new one, but if you're sure about it, then do it right away. Don't try to wait for the right time, because there's never going to be a right time. There'll never be a good time to tell somebody that the relationship needs to be over, if we face facts. So that, again, that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm telling you to jump like, headstrong into a new relationship. You may want to give yourself some time and space, to be on your own first before you go into a new relationship. But I do see the formation of a new relationship for which you're better suited, and maybe one in your current partner's future for which they're better suited as well. They're like their real soulmate too, or their real twin flame too. After this other relationship that has run its course goes ahead and ends. So that takes us to the Hangman, which is also a card of letting go and can be a card of long-term relationships ending and stuff, but it's here in the placement of physical health. When this card shows up, and it's in reverse, by the way, and you haven't been feeling well, let's say, then it can be showing up to tell us that it's really it's important time to like try some sort of radical change in our habits in order to see how that affects our health, and if it improves it. So for example, when I was a smoker, you could have told me, and the Surgeon General says this, and you go to the doctor and they say, smoking causes cancer, smoking causes this, causes that. And I knew all those things. I was a biology major. Like I wasn't, and I'm not a dummy. So I know what smoking does. But it wasn't until I was like I felt like I was going to cough my lungs up that I had to make a radical change, which was to quit smoking, and I wasn't gonna do it a minute before. Obviously, I never did. I did it after. What may be another example? Many people have found, for example, that their health improves greatly when they stop, eating or drinking dairy, or maybe it's meat for you, or certain vegetables even. They stop drinking that. Stop eating that. And my dad couldn't eat spinach. And I forgot what's in spinach, but it's not good for your heart or something like that. I don't know, I'll have to look into it, but it was something like that, or like it clashes with a heart medicine. I forgot what it was, but yes, even vegetables can be not a good idea for you to eat, depending upon you, and some would say your blood type. I mean, these things can get pretty involved and intricate. But if you make some sort of just like big radical change about something that you think is wrong with you physically, you could really have some good results. Or maybe you find out, oh, this affected me actually adversely, so I'm going to put this back into my diet. I've also been thinking a lot about, like I told you, I have all these weird visions and dreams and whatnot. So I haven't really sorted this out in my mind yet, but 369, the key to the universe, Tesla, and all that stuff, right? So protein. Yeah, protein. Omega acids, omega fatty acids come in. There's omega 3s, there's omega 6s, and there's omega 9s. And I've been thinking about them omega fatty acids in relation to 369 and us, and the importance of us having a healthy balance of all those proteins in our diet. So I'll get more into that maybe, like I said, another time. So basically, listen to your body, and also consider the potential spiritual connotations and relationship to any physical symptoms that you're having too. So on that note, that'll take us right into the spiritual and our Two of Cups. So yeah, right off the bat, I can say that it may have something to do with a spiritually based relationship. But also, it's about feeling like at one, like I'm at one with the universe. Like the two beings aren't necessarily two 3D beings. It's like you and the universe, and you are also at one with yourself. So though you could also be the two people that are depicted in the card. This is one of those cards that represents the heart chakra, though, and its opening. And so, like when I did the last week, and I think the general and the love and the moon reading that I had done, the Scorpio new moon reading, they all showed the heart chakra in reverse when I used the energy deck. So that was obviously indicative of a blockage. Now with this card this week, we're seeing the heart chakra opening. So you should be feeling like more than usually loving toward, yourself and everyone and everything, and things should just be, improving in your life. Share that good energy, because that's what the world needs more of. And that's really the purpose of twin flames and, soulmates, even maybe too. Twin souls that are maybe not romantically involved, but are more platonic, but they were put here to serve a particular purpose together and to bring love and light to the world, because that's what we're here for, to increase our planet's vibration, keep her alive, right? So now let's look at some more cards in conjunction with these, as clarifiers. So again, we start with card number 24, adjacent possibilities. Then we have 46, the thinking man. And this is somebody who is very spiritual, from whom we can learn something. And I'm just getting that it could be tied to father. Of course, 1119 falls within this week. And, so it's the energy of father and Osiris. And 19, of course, equals 10, as does 46. And both equal 1 as well. So ones are about information and thought and communication and learning. So that may be what that's about. And he or your own father, maybe something connected to your father, or not having anything to do with a father or father figure at all. But again, maybe from somebody who's a conduit, who has helped us to become aware of something or to learn something, may further be helping us to strategize, or may lead us to some sort of contract where we're informed now, we know what we're doing, that we're able to enter into that. And the next card is Deceit in reverse. So I just was made to think about the 7 of Swords, again, that's that card most directly. Remember, there could be somebody who is out to be deceitful to us. So maybe this is about us, using our own wisdom and wit, whether it's something someone taught us previously and we have it stored, as an experience or in our memory banks, and that will help us to maintain the upper hand, or it's something that we're being taught now. All right, so now actually joining that Seven of Swords, we have Goddess of the Moon, card number 52 in reverse. Surrounding, joining the Two of Pentacles, we have the Temple Path, also in reverse. Work and finance, joining the Eight of Wands, we have Daughter Romance, also in reverse. All week I've been talking about meeting somebody at work, though, with my Patreon subscribers and everything. Love and relationship, joining the Eight of Cups. Sixth chakra, Archangel Metatron in reverse. That's the third eye chakra. Metatron is the leader of light workers. Joining the Hangman reverse for physical health, we have fifth chakra, Archangel Gabriel. Somebody could be dealing with something involving their throat or an inability to communicate and a need to make a change in that area. And spiritual health, joining the Two of Cups, we have seventh chakra, Archangel Uriel, also in reverse. So what's interesting is we got all these chakras showing up in reverse, but not the heart chakra. That didn't come back this week. So basically our overall energy here, adjacent possibilities, lets us know that sometimes something can keep us stuck. And maybe in this case, it's these closed chakras, but something can be blocking us or holding us or keeping us stuck, whether it's a relationship or a situation or whatever, and we become or our habits. It could be our own habits. Sometimes it's easier to like, again, maintain the devil than to go out and venture and take a leap of faith and stuff like that. So we have these habits of sort of just maintaining the status quo, and it keeps us stuck and forgetting that there are possibly happier or healthier choices, around us and available to us. So moving on to the Goddess of the Moon in reverse, this card lets us know that, again, there's a blockage, and that blockage may be specific to our intuition, like messages aren't coming through, or they're not coming through clearly, or we're not understanding. There's some sort of inner disconnect that we're dealing with, or maybe there's a sense of, again, just feeling sort of low energy, disempowered, like we're living in the dark, we're lacking confidence and stuff. And we may have a deep desire also to know like our purpose or what the truth is about a situation, but the ability to figure out what those things are can just feel very like distant. So I mean, obviously that leads to like extreme worry and stuff like that. The card basically shows up to tell us to get out of our own way, and release whatever the blockage is. So I can see how it ties in with the Seven of Swords. Get out of your own way, release whatever fears or worries are associated, especially with the blockage. And, it's important to know that we're blessed, and to count our blessings, and to remember, that we're not going through the worst things that we could possibly go through, and then when you see that, when you put it in perspective, that can sometimes help to lift you up too. But again, I'm going to try to remember to link that video about clearing out the stuff too, because that may help you guys as well. The Temple Path reverse can indicate that we've fallen off our path. And again, maybe it's not us immediately. Maybe it's somebody close to us, close friends, family members, co-workers, but we are somehow impacted by them falling off of their path. And it could be about being too focused on like worldly possessions, which the Two of Pentacles is definitely, potentially about that. It can often be about people that are working too hard or have their mind too much on money and too much on stuff. And so they're neglecting other areas of their life, particularly their relationships in their lives and things like that. So we're just too focused on material gain And that's causing us maybe to maintain old unhealthy habits, again, of fear, of worry, of doubt, and lack and stuff like that could very much be tied in with this Seven of Swords. So whatever it is that's like distracting us, the card, shows up to say that it's time to make your spiritual life and like your, ascension and growth and evolution the highest priority, or at least a much higher priority. And like whatever else you have going on, consider this as like an important part of your own like plans, like your strategy, if you will. Remember that card with the thinking man and the strategy. And again, count your blessings, Moving on to card number 33, door to romance in reverse, and the placement of work and finance. So this card can indicate a delay or disappointment, like specifically where love is concerned. So maybe there is something, again, going on with somebody at the job, a delay in you guys coming together or reuniting, maybe somebody that you previously met through work, or a disappointment. Maybe somebody at work is not interested in you and you're interested in them, or, just can't work out because there's a thing at your job where, subordinates and bosses aren't allowed to deal with each other, or there's no fraternization. I don't know. A disappointment in love is showing up. It's showing up in the placement of work and finance. And for some, it can seem like love, like the door to love, the door to romance has been like shut, closed for a long time with this card. So that's why I'm thinking it could be something of a romance that you had previously, somebody you met previously, maybe at or through work, and maybe you've been separated for a long time. So it feels like the door is shut, but something's coming up with regard to that energy. So maybe there's a return from that person soon. We do have an overall energy of the Ace of Cups, so obviously aces are about new beginnings, in reverse, as ours is. It can be potentially associated with a delay. Although the Ace of Cups on its own, as it relates to love in reverse, can be about you just not, like your love, like you not being in the right place in terms of love, or your love, things not lining up properly for you to have a healthy love life right now, So I guess that also equates to delay. Like, you will soon, but not now. Like something has to be fixed first. There's also a reminder with this card, not the door to romance card, not the Ace of Cups, to make yourself a priority. So that can be too, like you got too much other stuff going on in your life with other people. Maybe make yourself and your own finances and your own job a priority, and not just getting caught up in things like love and romance and relationships. Make sure that you keep some focus on your job and stuff too, and your livelihood. That may be another message. Sixth chakra, Archangel Metatron in reverse. I think it's card number 40. Is that right? Yes, it is. Card number 40 in the energy deck. It's here in our placement of love and relationship, but the card really shows up to say that it's just really time to like break again out of old habits and toxic patterns and things about worry and doubt and self-criticism. So if you were worried about your relationship, your existing relationship, again, and you're trying to wonder if you should stay in it or not, you're really going to have to let go of any hang-ups you had about the relationship in order to get clear. The card is calling for us to get clear in order and to make a genuine decision. And if you were staying in the relationship because of an old pattern or habit that was holding you there, as opposed to leaving and getting into something better, something more reciprocal, like a Two of Cups or lovers type of relationship, then you need to shake off whatever those things are that are holding you. And that can still be worry, doubt, or self-criticism, or, maybe criticism about you as a unit with this other person as well. The card shows up to say that it's time for us to develop a happier and healthier vision and perception of ourselves, and then make that a reality. So moving on to card 39 and the fifth chakra, and also in reverse, the throat chakra with Archangel Gabriel. this card shows up to say that there's like some sort of blocks in our throat center, right? So something in our past may have caused us to shut down. And something, since this is the physical health placement, it can be something literally going on with our throat. So maybe, again, something having to do with a type of food that you eat or don't eat that can cause digestive problems. Maybe something with your esophagus and the throat in that regard. Or, again, smoking can affect the throat. Maybe you need to quit, whether that's cigarettes or weed or some other substance. Maybe it's affecting your throat, or maybe it's something in your throat, like the thyroid, you know, something that you're eating or not eating or doing or not doing that is affecting your thyroid. You know, I'm thinking is very possibly a message, at least for some of us, since this is in the placement of physical health. And the message, again, with the Hangman in reverse with regard to physical health was to start or stop doing something that could help us in the area where we're not feeling well. The card more directly, though, is tied to like fear of self-expression. And that could be something too, like maybe holding something in and not expressing yourself and not communicating things where you need to is affecting you. Maybe that's causing your blood pressure to go up. Maybe that's causing you to have digestive issues because you're worried, you got gas now. You know, your stomach's getting big, or your heart's becoming damaged or something because you're holding these things in. And, you know, so you really need to begin to communicate and express yourself. Could also be the radical change that you need to make in your life. Lastly, 7th chakra, Archangel Uriel, card number 41, really makes sense in this placement of our spiritual health. Because the spiritual health card, the 2 of Cups, it's upright, so it's positive. It's about balance, and I guess it's achieving balance. So even though, like, while the 7th chakra being in reverse could be indicative of us not being in balance, you know, they sort of go together anyway, in that it gives us a message that that's what we're trying to achieve this week in the area of spirituality. So the card indicates, again, a blockage, very possibly in our intuition or our thought processes. And again, our sense of feeling empowered. And our ability to, or potential to, maybe receive power and support from the spirit world. It could be that we, again, to bring up the fear that may be causing the blockage, fear and worry. We could have fear of opening up to this side of our lives, you know, the spiritual side, if we're newer to it, or maybe to growing in the area. Again, there's some sort of activity with Jupiter this week. I think Jupiter moved recently into Aquarius. So, and I had this thing I was doing a daily reading, and I was talking about where Jupiter had been and trying to remember. And I'm like, okay, I started from Sagittarius. I'm like, okay, I remember Jupiter left Sagittarius, so I guess it went into Aquarius. And then I'm like, wait a minute, no, I skipped over Capricorn. But I've since remembered that Jupiter, when it was retrograde this year, was going back and forth between Capricorn and Aquarius. And I think ultimately now is in Aquarius, or moves into Aquarius this week. That was going to be another one of the major things that's happening around the same time as the full moon and the lunar eclipse, you know, to give us this, and Ketu being in conjunction with Scorpio, to give us this increased, you know, energy of, you know, planetary energy and the effects that it will have on us. Jupiter is all about growth, expansion, luck, you know, things happening with us. So there could be a fear of that, right? And again, I think it's important not only to let go of those fears and worries, but to remember, you know, what we do have and from where we're starting. And then it will be easier to conceive, you know, where we can go and where we might be headed already, and to be more open to going there and you know, getting on path. I should have done these cards before those. All right, so now let's see. So now joining the goddess of the moon and the 7 of Swords, we have the Knight of Cups, who's romantic, flirtatious, introspective, and enchanting, a deeply emotional and probably romantic experience will sweep you off your feet. Things can move very quickly during such whirlwind encounters, so stay balanced and make decisions with both your heart and your intellect. So I talked about things being found and lost with the Seven of Swords. I didn't mention that also for me, it can be about exes returning. Some of you may have heard me say that before in my readings, and as can the Knight of Cups for me be this card of reunion and exes returning and things, and maybe specifically that ex is a Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, or someone likened to those traits or attributes, and maybe somebody you met at work. You know, joining the surrounding placement. It is the King of Swords, who is brilliant, impartial, professional, and diplomatic. Speak your mind with confidence. Seek out professional advice and balance mental and emotional considerations. The King of Swords is a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, or someone likened to those traits or attributes, and is somebody who, you know, often is a professional to whom you can go for advice, is going to be fair, diplomatic, even if it doesn't pay off for them. They're going to give you like all sides of a situation. And maybe there is, again, relationships happening between water signs and air signs, not unlike Father Osiris and Isis. Okay, so that will be fitting for this week. Moving into work and finance, we got the worry, the Nine of Swords, expecting the worst. Self-fulfilling prophecies and sleepless nights. Maybe again because you're awaiting a decision or some sort of information from a boss, and not having it is making you worried about your financial security, you know, your family's security, your stability, your standing. But again, trying to release those worries is, you know, I know easier said than done, but try to release those worries and to be patient. At least this week. Again, maybe next week I'll say something different. Love and relationship. Ooh, Five of Fire, Five of Wands. Competing goals, bothersome details, conflict with others. I said before, if you're competing with somebody for something, make sure they're not cheating. That was another message that came with the or you know, pay attention if they may be cheating. That was another message that comes with the Seven of Swords. And, you know, it could definitely be in the case of love and relationship too. Maybe that's what causes somebody to decide that a long-term relationship needs to end. Maybe there's cheating in the situation. The Five of Wands for me in general tends to be, if it is about conflict, it's conflict with close friends and or family members, including our exes or the other parent of our children and all that kind of stuff. When it's more positive, it can be representative for me of the planet Mars and taking action, being aggressive about our movements. So that could also be the meaning here too. Just really making conscious, deliberate movements about what I'm going to do. I'm leaving this relationship, I'm going to this one, or I'm going to work on this relationship and grow it and fix it, and, you know, whatever the case is. Physical health. Seven of Swords. So Seven of Swords here, Seven of Swords here too now. Seven of Swords in the position of health tells us to not to be afraid to consider spiritual healing, for one thing. Also, like I said, it can cause us to miss out on opportunities because it can be about us lacking confidence. Maybe it's tied to our inability to express ourselves and to speak up for ourselves. This can be telling you to speak up for yourself too, the Seven of Swords. It also suggests that one get a second or even third, maybe, opinion about their, you know, a health matter. If you need like surgery or something like that, maybe somebody tell you need third surgery on your throat. Before you do that, go to another doctor. Or maybe go to a spiritual healer. Not unlike myself, but not necessarily to me. I'm not pitching a sale to you, but somebody that one of my clients actually said recently, like, they thought that I wasn't doing anymore, any more readings. They knew that I was doing the healing still, because they purchased one for themselves and for their husband. But she thought I wasn't doing any more. And I said, no, I have something to do right now. I just haven't been posting them because, I've been crazy. But she was like, oh, because you never say, like I used to share the testimonials and stuff. I've just gotten too busy to even do that, and I apologize. Anyway, but I do them, but I'm not selling me. You may have some other method of holistic healing and some other practitioner to which you want to go. If you need to go to one, and do that. Last but not least, joining spiritual health and the 7th chakra in reverse, the crown chakra in reverse, and the 2 of Cups, we have the 7 of Wands. Be assertive. Okay, it's joining like this 5 of Wands. Like I said, being aggressive in your hot pursuit. Be assertive, believe in yourself, and don't let anyone take away your personal power. Trust that your inner guidance is true. So if you're confused again about your intuition, don't be afraid to actually listen to those messages. Trust that your inner guidance is true and follow it completely. And we'll pull some for advice. Here's one for the masculine. It's now the Page of Cups. He's intuitive, sensitive, artistic, and friendly. A new person enters your life. A relationship begins a new phase. So even a relationship potentially that had ended or that was in separation, you could be reunited and let it begin a new phase. If you're not afraid to speak up for yourself and communicate to the person that you miss them or whatever it is. Also heightened psychic abilities. Page of Cups, like the Knight, is potentially a Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. And for the feminine, we have another 8 of Cups, a desire to move on, the search for something more meaningful, spiritual and emotional growth. And moving on doesn't necessarily mean moving on from a particular person, place, or thing. It can be moving on from an emotion, moving on from a situation. I'm not going to hold that grudge anymore. I'm not going to hold on to those emotions anymore. I'm not going to harp on that situation anymore. I am moving on with my life. Hope you guys have enjoyed the general. I will be back this week with love and also the moon, the full moon in Taurus and lunar eclipse. Namaste.